welcome to my channel. Good morning. My name is Chrissy and this is Penny. I've been babysitting Penny for a week. Today is the 28th of July, so I'll be giving you a prediction reading for today. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I do talk a lot about current global energies and the Great Awakening process. So I'll close my eyes, we'll get started, and we'll just see what comes up. People are being encouraged now to speak out. Now, I really believe that that takes the biggest amount of courage to speak out against these government elites. Now, this could be around whistleblowing. It could also be around, I feel, vaccine injuries. I feel like that is a big issue. We've got a senator here called Senator Rennick, I think his name is. It's in Queensland, I think, the state of Queensland in Australia. And he's been doing an amazing job getting these people together. So he's been documenting, interviewing people who have had vaccine injuries. There is a lot going on in the background, and I think that's probably what the guides are trying to say today, that they're coming together. See, that support in numbers that I always talk about. But even this whistleblowing, there could even be people being encouraged to come forward to and tell their truths and tell their true stories. Because it's very hard, as we would know, to tell your honest truths when you know that media and government are against you. Like, even the police have turned on so many people that who do you go to? Like, this is where it becomes very complicated and very difficult for these people moving forward. Even vaccine injured, you can't just go to a doctor and say, look, this happened to me from the jab, because there's a high probability they're not going to document that. We know that because of the silencing that's gone on in that industry as well. So I'm definitely getting that people are being encouraged now to really come forward and tell their stories. Gosh, imagine it in like 10 years' time, how many people are going to be just openly talking about all their injuries. And it'll be so nice for them to find that place where they can just air their truths. I'll just see where else we go with this today. But I'm definitely getting that people are trying to encourage each other to come forward and be honest in their experiences. Let's see what else we get today. Gosh, I keep getting Germany for some reason. In Germany, the people are making like sacrifices for the government. So it's almost like, and this is the people who comply, probably not you if you're watching my channel, but the people who comply are trying to sacrifice things for their government. So it's like they're trying to give up things to help the government. God knows why you would be helping your government. But I do feel like in Germany, there's a fairly large portion of the population that complies over there. And that's why I feel like Germany is a good place for them to start some of these rollouts. There's a lot of you that fight back, but I do feel in Germany that people comply for some reason. And I don't know, as I talked about here with our wellness camps, that there was that fear of that German, maybe a lot of them, and this could be ancestral wounds too, have a lot of that fear about what happened, as we know, in Germany many years ago, with that vilification of the Jews and the different races. And a lot of people do sort of have that underlying, and I would say we can't really blame them because it would be a subconscious thing. It's not even in their forefront of their mind. They wouldn't even be aware. They just have this, it's unconscious because it's so deep in their subconscious mind, just to comply, because then you'll stay safe. And look, that makes sense to any of you on here. I know that would make sense. And that's what I'm getting for Germany. I'll just see where else we go. All right, Penny, cold. Fear is really building in a lot of people now. Not us. We don't really carry fear anymore. We get little inklings of anxiety and fear. I'm not saying that we don't get them, because we are human and we do get triggered. So sometimes when things pop up in our face, it might trigger us, or it might be something that someone says if they're talking about like the jabs or something like that. But these people waking up, their fear is rising. It's showing it sort of coming up and up and up, because it's the unknown. See, when you don't know what's coming at you, it creates fear, because you don't know how far these interest rates are going to go. You don't know how far the cost of living is going to go. Are you going to be able to feed your kids? How are you going to make those car repayments? How are you going to pay your house repayments? So many things are coming at these people. So you would expect, and I think that's a pretty normal expectation, that these people waking up, their fears are going to really start to rise, and a lot of them are really going to be crippled and knocked over financially. We know that, because when you don't see it, you can't prepare for it either. See, we've all sort of been prepared for it. I know a lot of you out there, we've started growing things, we've been stocking up, we downsized, we got a bit smarter on our finances. I know you, John, you'd be good out there. We've tried to get more control of our money. Some of us might have. I know in Canada you probably pulled yours out of the bank. I think I would if I was living over there. I'm even thinking about that living here in Australia, because we're not far behind you. Normally when something gets implemented there, we end up getting it as well. I'll see where else we go with this today. This is look, the other day I talked about the castaways, which were the people being knocked over by all these waves of garbage from government and all these things being thrown at them, and they were managing to get up on all fours and crawl like a dog. That's what they're kind of showing me. So they're halfway up, they've got their breath, and they're showing me them trying to crawl back to their old lives. This is just sad, isn't it? We know their old lives are gone. Their old lives are gone, done and dusted. And this is what they're wanting though. They're wanting to try and crawl back to their old life. Because I keep talking about it, it's that grief. When you lose something, you lose a part of you, and it's like the loss of a family member or someone that you really love and care about. When you lose your old life, a part of you gets left behind, and that's why this is the breaking down of the soul, and it can be such a very painful process for a lot of people. I know for you guys, anyone that's been through the dark night or through depression or darkness or any of those horrible suicidal feelings, it's the worst experience, and your body completely breaks down. It almost feels like it just breaks down to nothing, and then you emerge again. It's that phoenix rising. Well, that's what these people are kind of going through. It's the really deep-seated grief that their life is over, and now they don't even know where it's heading. So there's this feeling of I would say, to be honest, it's a feeling of being lost. But it's only a temporary feeling, as we know. But these people waking up are very lost in the equation. And that's what creates all that fear and that grief. And like I keep saying, and anger, because these people are going to get angry. So things are going to get sort of worse before they get better, because the anger is going to be the emotion that's going to be sort of at its highest peak when they're waking up. And they always say that anger is men's tears. So men will get angry. Women get angry too. Gosh, I know people that get very angry when they go through emotional experiences. Look at PMT. I don't have to tell you blokes out there that women get very angry when they're going through their monthlies. It can be quite an up and down scary time. They call him the tiger, don't they, or something like that. The tiger emerges. So these people, it's like their tiger is emerging. I'll see what else we get today. Oh, and I've got to tell you as well here, they've actually shut down the wellness camps. Oh, this is new. This was just actually popped up on my feed today. They spent, like, some of these wellness camps in Australia, I was telling you about yesterday, where we were worried we were going to be marched into these wellness camps in Australia. It was really quite scary at the time. Some of them have cost $220 million for one in Queensland, and now they're sitting there like a ghost town, and they've shut them down. What a total waste of taxpayers' money. But, as we know, that could be all trickery too, because we know they've probably got some plan down the track. You wouldn't know. Things are so well hidden from everybody, aren't they? But that's what's happening. Oh, and today, yes, we were talking the other day about the bowling alley and how we all wanted to bowl balls at government in the bowling alley, and we were sitting up in the snack bar. Remember, all you guys watching my channel, Well, people are throwing these bowling balls and knocking over the government leaders and everybody like Skittles. And now we've got train strikes again. And the guides did say, remember they said strikes is how you affect these global leaders and you push back against the reset. And now the trains are striking again. This is like every week. I talked about the nurses yesterday. And not only that, now in Australia, the garbage trucks are standing up. They want a pay rise as well. So this is great because this means, and it shows to us, that people are seeing that the extreme wealth and the injustice of how these people are getting a pay rise, these government leaders and people in power, and the little people are getting nothing. So they're pushing back, they're fighting back. I always said they'd fight back for different things, and now they really are. So we've got the garbage collectors, the garbage trucks, they're on strike today. So Australia is having strike after strike after strike. I don't know what's happening where you guys are. Maybe let me know. But I just thought that was interesting to mention those couple of things today because we're always having a lot of things going on here in Australia. Like I said, I think we've been a bit of a guinea pig like Canada in this whole rollout experiment, and Germany probably too. I'll see what else we get or if there's anything to close with today. Yeah. See, the guides are saying like people aren't dying in the streets. We know the numbers are fudged. When they first showed these pictures in China, in Wuhan and all that, of people collapsing and dead on the street, it was just all trickery. It's the hologram. The people fell for it, didn't they? Sadly. But it hasn't happened. And people are wondering what's going on because it hasn't happened. They can't play that footage anymore because it's not the truth. We all know the numbers in the hospitals have been fudged. They even admitted that here in Australia. They might have got it wrong because a lot of people came into hospital with other things. And if they had had COVID prior to going into hospital, they didn't even go into hospital with COVID, they still classed them as a COVID case number. It's just the lies. As we know here on my channel, we know this has been the biggest bunch of lies, deception. Horrific. I can't believe they are doing this to people. I'll see if there's anything to close with today. This is about climate change. Like the world isn't melting. We know that they always try to bring up climate change. Every few years there's some big dilemma. I remember there was this big thing when I was little, and I know you guys probably remember. I remember they used to talk about the ozone layer all the time. No one really talks about that anymore. And they had to change all the aerosols to pump packs, and we don't even know what's true, do we? But it just goes from like one thing to the other, and then it's all really dramatic, and we're all going to end up with really bad sunburn. And it was just... Well, you know how it goes. So nobody sort of talks about that anymore. But the world isn't melting. So that's what I'm getting. And to be honest, we all here on my channel, I know, query a lot of these weather, strange, questionable weather sort of conditions that happen. We look at some of the clouds and the excessive amount of rain here. It's absolutely mad. There's just so much... strange sort of goings on with the weather that people are starting to even query this kind of thing now. Like, is it man-made? I live in the Snowy Mountains, and they do snowmaking. You can do it if you've got the right temperature. I know you guys would know it over in Canada and that. They make snow. And you can do cloud seeding and create rain. Technology has got so advanced. God knows what's falling on you if they're doing this cloud seeding. And I don't think that'd be rain you'd want to go and drink, but probably some chemicals in that. But this is what I'm getting. Nothing's impossible. I mean, and there's no logic. See, you got to think about it. We've had these enormous floods here. Speaking of the weather extremes, wiped out towns. I mean, wiped out. They're still living in tents in their houses, these people, because they've got no walls. And it's winter here. And it does get quite cool at night. And like, here's these wellness camps they've built with nobody in them, but government's not helping these people out, but spending $220 million on a wellness camp. But they gave each of these people, I'm not joking, $400 an adult and $200 for kids, which is nothing. It wouldn't even get you like a night probably in a motel. So the balance just isn't right. This whole climate thing's not adding up. Things just aren't adding up anymore. It's like showing me someone on the board doing the physics and the maths equation, but no one can solve the problem. It's because I think what the guides are saying is it's not a problem that can be solved because nothing adds up. You're never going to get an outcome because it doesn't add up. It's not, I guess it just doesn't feel natural, does it, at the end of the day? I'll see if there's anything to close with. Oh, Penny's tired today. I'm getting this for you guys out there, like time's on our side. We've got time on our side now. We've got time to think clearly. We've got time to enjoy life. We've got time to spend with family and friends. We've created time back into our life. And it's a great thing because time's something that, as in the Time Warp song, it can be fleeting. So you've got to make the most of it. So it's like by simplifying our life here on my channel, we've created extra time into our life. And I think we could honestly say that we're sort of juggling a lot of things, all of us out there, but we're still making time to express ourselves, to enjoy our life, to enjoy our passions, to find creativities. We're still doing those things that ignite us. And that's what the soul breakdown does. It stops you and it gets you off the mouse wheel in that rat race of life. And it takes you somewhere else where you start to see the beauty of life again. And you start to enjoy and focus in a different way. Like I talk about the crystal glasses, how we see things really clearly now. Like you might see a little butterfly or a bee land on a leaf. And in that moment, you're just, it's such an amazing experience. And it's like the universe has lit up all the small things to us that we never really saw before because life was just too fast and sped up. And now we can see it again. It's like, I guess you could say, and I'm going to leave you with this, it's like looking at life through the eyes of a young child, which is great because that's how we sort of came into this world, and that's how the guides kind of want us to leave this world, and start to really embrace that beauty and the kindness and the love, and that's how we kind of nurture and strengthen ourselves. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. We're going to keep looking at life through the eyes of a child and create more time. Gosh, our daylight savings here is changing soon. So I love it because our days are much longer. It's great. Winter's days are so short and dark. So I'll be creating time soon. So look, I'm going to say goodbye from Australia. I hope everyone's going well where you are. Take care. Thanks again for commenting and hitting that like button. That helps me heaps. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And I'll say goodbye from Australia. Goodbye from me and Penny. Oh, she's too sleepy today. And I'll say goodbye. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody. Bye.